Greetings to everyone. This is David Triana, and I am the host of Making Connections Interview Show, a product of Conexión Media Group. And I am very excited because this is our first show for 2024. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, mi co-animadora, la excelente Kismet Meléndez, que me está acompañando como siempre, coming to us from Mobile, Alabama. ¿Cómo estás, Kismet? ¿Cómo te ha ido?
Hola, saludos a todos. Bueno, estoy tan contenta. ¡Feliz año nuevo! ¿Verdad? Llegamos al 2024.
Gracias
Estoy
a
muy
Dios.
contenta. Gracias a Dios y que este año 2024 sea un año de que se nos abran las puertas a todos los que están allá afuera escuchándonos e informándose aquí con Making Connection y tenemos el primer programa del 2024.
Ah, así es, así es. Ha sido un año ocupado. Hemos hecho varias cosas, varios programas excelentes con muchos muy buenos invitados. So the show has been great. We had a lot of great guests, that tell us all about what they're doing throughout the world because our show interviews people from throughout the world, not just locally. We want to make sure that, we recognize and talk to people that are doing some wonderful things here locally, regionally, but we have international and national reach. So many of the people are, doing some great things out there in the United States and all over the world. So las personas que hemos tenido han sido locales, nacionales e internacionales, ¿no? Como el doctor, ¿te acuerdas del doctor con el que hablamos que está haciendo esas cosas en el espacio?
Fíjate que mientras conversaba, me acordaba, veo mi estrella acá de la Isla del Encanto y me acordaba de él, que qué interesante es cuando entrevistamos a las personas y nos cuentan cómo han logrado sus éxitos y cómo sus éxitos nos ayudan a todos nosotros en este mundo, punto.
Ah,
Esa ha sido, todas nuestras entrevistas han sido muy buenas, pero esa ha sido una de las más que me ha impactado.
That is true. That is true. He told us how he was as a child. He used to look out at the stars, out there in Mexico, and that's how motivated him to become, what he does now. Has an astronaut or aeronautics company.
Y
Uh,
es un hispano, mira, from México, para que
that's
sepa,
right.
destacándonos.
As we mentioned, Conexión or Making Connections interview show is published and produced by Conexión Media Group. Our company also produces the largest bilingual publication in Northwest Florida and Southern Alabama. It's called Conexión, Spanish and English, and we help people that are trying to outreach to the Latino community through our publication right here through our show. And we also do some great events throughout the region, including our Hispanics and Friends um, business networking shows or networking meetings and socials in which we get together with people from throughout the region also. And this year, again, coming up is our Emerald Coast International Week, which is going to happen from 13 April to 21 April. And we're going to close that international week with our 6th annual International Festival for Walton Beach. And again, all of those are products of Conexión Media Group, Kismet. Entonces, como sabemos y tenemos varias cosas en el futuro también, y allá tú en Mobile también vas a tener varias cosas en las cuales estás involucradas con tu fundación y con tu empresa, ¿correcto?
Correcto, así es. Tenemos muchas cosas que bien interesantes, ¿verdad? Como la exposición en el Museo de Ciencias de Explorer Science Museum va a tener una exposición de Cuba y
Ya que
nos
estás
van a...
hablando, continúa hablando de eso mientras yo enseño la página bonita que tienen acerca de lo que viene.
Para que la gente sepa lo que va a venir y cómo se ve lo que tú quieras ver, porque mira, esto es como para crear un poquito de curiosidad y es la primera vez que aquí, en esta área, se expone una exposición hispana y en este caso van a exponer a Cuba de febrero hasta julio del 2024 y tú vas a tener la oportunidad de ir con tu familia una vez al mes y poder visitar esta exposición desde la cultura, la gastronomía, las diferentes tradiciones con las diferentes exposiciones que van a ver en el museo y también vamos a tener música en vivo, así que no se pueden perder la entrada
Exacto.
va a tener un precio módico y tú vas a poder disfrutar del museo y también van a estar colocando allá adentro en el museo, hay un cine y vas a tener la oportunidad de ver la película titulada y en referencia a Cuba.
Mira, estoy mostrando la página del
Me
Exploring
encanta.
Science Center ahorita y ahí donde están anunciando que el 25 de enero tienen un evento que se llama Una Noche en Cuba, que sé que es una gala que va a estar bien bonita. No estoy seguro si aún tienen boletos para la gala en sí, pero si alguien tiene alguna pregunta pueden llamar al museo al 251-208-6893 o entrar a la página del Explorium Science Center. Es Explorium.com y ahí en la página principal tienen ese anuncio de cerca de la gala y luego un video bien bonito. Voy a seguir enseñándoles lo que sigue porque voy a empezar ahí a tocar este link y mira, ahora enseñan lo que va a ser la exposición. Una noche en Cuba es la gala de 6 a 10, es lo que tengo ahorita ahí en la pantalla. Pero aún más importante, como tú estabas diciendo, Kismet, esa es la exposición, ¿correcto? Cuéntanos un poquito acerca de lo que sabes de la exposición.
La exposición, la gala, vamos a informarles sobre la gala, que en la gala va a comenzar a las 6 de la tarde, ¿verdad? Debe ir al link para poder comprar su boleto y eso le va a incluir música en vivo con el grupo Mofongo, ¿ok? Que van a tocar salsa de Cuba, mira la salsa casino. Además, también vamos a tener a Israel Rodríguez, que es un cubano que se ha destacado aquí en Mobile, Alabama, y tiene una academia que se llama Ballet Móvil. Y ellos también van a estar haciendo un ballet, una exposición, ¿verdad? Con referencia a Cuba. Van a tener catering de las Floriditas, que también es un restaurante que se encuentra en el edificio Dolphin, en el centro, en el downtown de Mobile. Y también todo lo que está dentro de ese restaurante, que es como un sótano y tú no te lo puedes perder, es expuesto sobre Cuba. Entonces, motivando esto, están en conjunto el Explorer Science y la Floridita, realizando este evento para que tú disfrutes de la cultura, de las tradiciones, de la gastronomía tan rica de Cuba y hacen un cafecito allí expreso que tú no te
Eso.
lo puedes perder.
So parece
Así
que va
que
a ser, this is going to be a wonderful event.
yes,
Cuba, it's a night in Cuba at the Explorium, downtown Mobile. And on the 25th, their gala is going to be filled with entertainment, some delicious food, and obviously the tastes and the culture uh, of Cuba and everything that they have to offer. It's a wonderful culture. It's a wonderful culture, and it's going to be a fun event. Esto va a ser muy, muy bonito este evento, estoy seguro. ¿Y qué nos cuentas acerca de lo que seguirá después en cuanto a este programa de Cuba que tiene el Exploring? Yo sé que van a tener también una exposición, ¿correcto?
van a tener una exposición, la gala va a estar el 25 de enero, pero la exposición va a comenzar en febrero hasta julio del 2024. Vas a tener la oportunidad de disfrutar de esta exposición por 7 meses y una vez al mes va a estar expuesto, ¿verdad?, a la comunidad pagando un costo mínimo por la entrada. Además de eso, mira, esto nos está motivando porque también hay una noche que se llama Glow Night y esta noche la presenta Park and Recreation en conjunto a otras personas y quieren destacar lo multicultural que
Ah,
somos
excelente.
aquí en esta región. Entonces, mira, yo creo que todas esas cosas que hemos estado moviendo la energía está dando frutos luego de 4 o 5 años atrás, porque hay muchas personas, ¿verdad?, de esta ciudad de Mobile, Alabama, que se están dando cuenta que somos muchos los hispanos que estamos aquí y que nuestra cultura, nuestra gastronomía, nuestra alegría, ¿verdad?, los está contagiando. Así que
Oye,
hasta
sí.
Park and Recreation va a realizar este evento Glow Night el viernes 1 de marzo y como tú sabes, se comunicaron con esta que está aquí para buscar talentos y entretenimientos. Y ya tengo a Brasil con Capoeira, tengo a Puerto Rico con la bomba y la plena, tenemos a Chile con un baile folclórico y estoy buscando México, Perú, Salvador, Honduras y todos los que quieran participar con nosotros de 5 a 10 minutos exponer su baile, si tocan algún instrumento para que le demuestren aquí a esta región lo que es nuestras culturas, nuestras tradiciones y nos podamos integrar y conectar todos
Este otro
digamos,
evento, ¿cuándo va a ser? ¿Cuándo va a ser eso?
el viernes 1 de marzo.
El viernes 1 de marzo te voy a tener que conectar con nuestros amigos allá de Tallahassee, del grupito de niños, un poquito de México y esos jovencitos que están haciendo gran trabajo expandiendo la cultura mexicana de Tallahassee. Son todos unos niños que bailan bailes folclóricos de México. Se llama Un Poquito de México. Te voy a tener que conectar con ellos. Oye, qué excelente. No, me da mucho gusto ver ese tipo de cosas. Yo te lo voy a decir en serio. Yo pienso que Mobile está liderando la región en cuanto a este outreach a las comunidades multiculturales. No nada más la latina, obviamente, pero claro, nosotros queremos que nuestra gente latina sea reconocida, obviamente, ¿no? Pero la parte multicultural, ¿no? Internacional, el Festival Internacional de Mobile, la señora Esther de Aguiar fue clave.
Así es.
Sin
Por
ella no
40
lo puedo, sin ella
años.
no lo puedo hacer para que nosotros pudiéramos empezar el Festival Internacional aquí. Y ya que estamos hablando de nuevas cosas, te voy a decir, estamos trabajando con la ciudad de Crestview para el primer Festival Internacional en Crestview, va a ser el 4 de mayo. Y también estamos colaborando con la ciudad de Panama City para el Festival Culture Festival, que va a ser el 17, 18 y 19 de mayo. So the area is having a lot of multicultural activities. Crestview is going to have an international festival on the 4th of May. Panama City has the Culture Festival on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of May. And then we have ours the month before. So Mobile, Crestview, Panama City, and I know Pensacola and other cities are doing some great things like that. But I think Mobile is leading the way, and I know that you had a lot of influence on that. So muchísimas gracias por ello. Oye, excelentes cosas. Vamos a hablar un poquito más acerca de eventos en otro segmento de nuestro programa. Por ahora les queremos decir que tenemos unas grandes entrevistas dentro de este programa Making Connections. Tenemos una entrevista con nuestro amigo Chris Torres, que es el fundador de una asociación sin fin de lucro que apoya a los jóvenes por medio del deporte. We are going to be right back with our interview and some other things that we want to talk about during this show. We'll see you in a few.
See you.
Do you want to advertise to thousands of Hispanics and non-Hispanics in Northwest Florida, and Southern Alabama?
¿Quieres promover tu empresa y producto a miles de hispanos y no hispanos?
Connection is your most cost-efficient way to do so.
Conexión es tu solución.
We are the largest English and Spanish publication in our region. Our primary mission is to inform, guide, and educate our readers via interesting content.
Somos la publicación mensual en español y en inglés de la más grande distribución en toda la región. Además de las 5,000 copias en papel, tenemos activas las redes sociales, incluyendo Facebook, Twitter e Instagram, y también por Internet.
Conexión is your bridge to connect you to the growing Hispanic market in the region. Call us.
Llámanos.
We are back and we have a great guest this morning. I'm excited about this one because this gentleman is doing some great work here in our area on behalf of the youth. His name is Chris Torres, and Chris is the founder and CEO of an organization called Future Stars Sports Clinic. Senor Chris, how are you doing today?
Muy bien.
All right, my man. All right, my man.
This long week that I've had, and I'm sitting here with you now to talk to you about that week and talk to you about our organization. I'm just so grateful.
I know, my man. I know you've been traveling around, and we are glad to have you this morning here in Making Connections. So let's start by talking a little bit about who you are. Chris Torres. A lot of people know you in our area for sure, but maybe some of our people watching here or listening do not know who you are. So tell us a little bit on the personal part of things about you, Chris.
Okay, Chris Torres. ¿Quién es Chris Torres? Right?
¿Quién es Chris Torres?
Primero, yo estoy un boricua, Puerto Rican, from New Jersey. And right now I live in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. I'm a 12-year Marine Corps veteran, but I'm also a coach. I'm a coach for kids, to inspire kids, to kind of teach them the lessons and pillars to be successful in life using sport. I've done multiple deployments when I was in the military, so I have all these different types of experience that I can share and teach knowledge of those experiences to my coaches, to the kids. I coach middle school football. I assist at high school where I can with the kids that go there. But first and foremost, I'm a family man. I'm a father of two. My wife Rosalinda is the rock of this entire operation. I can't do what I do if she wasn't here making sure that these kids were fed and making things happen at home. But yeah, I mean that's really like the gist of what it is. There's so many hats you could wear, and I try to wear them all at the same time.
Did the U.S. Marine Corps bring you to the Emerald Coast, Chris, or how did you end up in beautiful Florida, man?
So after serving 12 years in the Marine Corps, after 2 months being out, I ended up landing a job down here as a contractor. So yo estaba contracting with special operations. Aquí with I was working, Navy SEALs, all the special ops guys in Africa and Iraq, and then it pushed me towards figuring out how I can get involved in my community.
Okay.
And my time as a civilian before the Marine Corps, I loved football. I played football through high school when I was a kid, so it was definitely something that had a near and dear spot in my heart. So I wanted to give back, and I got with the community here and figured out how I can coach. And that was probably the inception and the beginning of everything that we're going to talk about. And
wow, amazing. That's awesome. So you brought, it's in your heart then what you're doing, your organization itself. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the organization called Future Stars Sports Clinic. What kind of led you to create it, number one? And then how long has it been in existence? Tell us about the organization.
Great. So you see these guys right here that I'm pointing? It's funny that I set up this desk. So back to what I was just saying, when I went back to the city and tried to figure out, hey, where can I coach? They put me on a team called the Fort Walton Beach Bulldogs. It was City League for the recreation. That's these kids right here, 19 of them. And that team, I think the year before, they didn't win a game. They were 0-8, just like one of those teams that everybody would bully on. I mean, it's funny that they were called the Bulldogs and they got bullied, right?
That's right.
But I had the opportunity to take over that team with two EOD technicians, Gideon Duke and why is it missing my name? I forgot his name.
That's okay. It'll
Macy,
come back to you.
Macy is his last name.
You go.
And they were both two EOD techs. And we took that team that didn't win a game the year prior, and we actually went 8-0. We did
Is
not
that
lose a
right?
game.
The big turnaround, huh?
Big turnaround. We went 8-0. We went into the championship and we lost. And we lost in overtime. And the kids were upset, but they weren't upset because they lost. I had 19 kids that all went to different schools. And what they were really upset was the family environment that we created. They weren't going to see their friends that they made and the family that they made within that.
Oh, yeah.
Because they went to different schools, different elementary schools. As you know, here in Okaloosa County, son mucha escuela everywhere.
That's right.
So that's what incepted Future Stars. That, and then the main reason, which I'm going to tell you right now, because coaching football is a very brutal sport. And what we wanted to do is be able to teach these kids, hey, here's all the fundamentals on how to play the game before you put a helmet on and talk to a kid.
That's right.
But so in 2017, that incepted Future Stars Football Clinic. So you see there's a rebranding that happened.
Right.
So what really happened was when I got out of the Marine Corps, like you were asking, and I joined the workforce, I noticed something was missing in society. Something was missing in the workforce, something missing in society. And what it was there was not a lot of leaders in communities. There was not a lot of leaders in the workforce. And I was like, there's a void, what's missing? So I saw that void, and I said, and not mention that the communities weren't building those leaders either.
Great.
It's like, yeah, so you have like these, you can work at Walmart, you can be a manager, anybody can manage. Yeah, hey, I need you at this time. Hey, sign your timesheet. Hey, this. But who's leading? And we didn't see those leaders. So I said, you know what? There's a void. We're gonna do this, but we're gonna use sport to do it. So that is at the Future Stars football clinic, which we did for 4 years. And then we had such a great outcome of the kids that were coming out, and that we were teaching our pillars: practice, teamwork, focus, discipline, respect. That's the tools that we use for Future Stars football. Keep saying football clinic. And then we just started getting affirmations from other counties to run the football clinic. And as the founder and CEO, I said, something's missing. You got to dream big.
Right.
I mean, you got to shoot for the stars, because you're going to fail. But if you shoot for the stars and fall, what ends up happening? You're going to fall on the clouds. So you're still higher than where you were.
Yeah.
So we changed it to Future Star Sports Clinic. So now we can impact 5 more sports, or 4 sports total: football, baseball, soccer, basketball. And the 5th sport, we're actually running a campaign right now, David.
You're not sure which one it is?
So there's a campaign going on right now for entire Okaloosa County. I'm actually in the entire United States, because since I was just in Vegas, I have people voting out there as well. So we're gonna have the United States pick what that 5th sport is, because it takes a village. And then that sport is what Future Stars is gonna give to the community. But we want to do that because we want to impact also the Hispanic community.
Most definitely.
There's not a lot of Latinos jugando fútbol americano. And a lot of them more are playing, football, soccer.
Football, soccer, right? So that's right.
So
well, yeah. So tell me a little bit. So you kind of mentioned already some of what the mission of Future Sports, our Future Start Sports Clinic is. So what is the specific mission that you have set out for now the expanded organization, I guess, because you used to be Future football focused organization. Now you got 4 sports. So do you have a specific mission that you have established now for the larger entity per se?
There's a few different types of missions, but the real mission is to use sports as a catalyst to change the world and build future leaders. Right now here in Okaloosa County, we want to use 5 different sports to do it. And, with these kids that are coming to this organization, it's not just sport. It's bigger than the sport.
Right.
I mean, you're familiar with the community service that we do as well.
Yeah, kind of funny that you mentioned that, the importance of leadership, because, that is one of the conversations that we have had in the past with the local business leadership and nonprofit leadership. And that is, that there's a lot of money being spent on great projects, great things like STEM and others. But everyone needs leadership, whether you are a janitor or you are a CEO of a corporation or the president of the United States. If you do not have the leadership traits and learn about leadership, because you have to learn about leadership. There are some kids that have a leadership potential built into them, but you have to learn how to be a leader, as you know. So leadership is so important to everyone, regardless of what they are doing. And that is I think one of the greatest things about your mission, that leadership is an important part of what you are doing through sport.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little, again, you mentioned the sports, right? Obviously, you got football and soccer. You mentioned basketball, and the 4th one being baseball, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, within that, I know you have the clinics and other things that are going on. So tell us about that. Tell us about the programs themselves, the clinic that you have, how long it is, what it takes, and all that, and then maybe some other additional things that you do with the kids to involve them in that community service and the leadership part of it.
Perfect. So I'll use the framework of fútbol americano, because everything está igual. We're gonna take that framework and pick it up. I said football, I said baseball, I said basketball. So if I talk about the football framework, so the program, Clínica son cinco clinics. So on Saturdays. And the best part of it is it's free.
Mhm.
You don't pay anything. No paga nada. So what we do is, because it has to be a team sport, we teach the fundamentals. So it'll be an offense, a defensive day, a skills day. The closing day normally is like our like banquet or like here's your awards. But there's one day that has nothing to do with sport. And that one day has to do with community service, because we want to teach these kids how to be the future leaders of tomorrow. We want to teach them how to give back to the community they live in, because we want to show the community Future Stars is here for them as well.
You bet.
Because the community is who supports us. That's how it's free. So what we're doing is uniting the community, also uniting the military members in the community with our community, which now shows these kids ages 6 to 13, hey, I'm not alone. I'm not by myself. My community has my back. And then when we're out there doing, like last year, we did our community service on the beach. We planted 250,000 sea oats on Okaloosa Island with
Wow.
a bunch of other organizations. And what does that do? Now these kids have a footprint in the sand of the city that they live.
That's right.
They can leave and come back and remember, see all those things over there? I planted those years ago. So it's really, I mean, it's beautiful to watch these kids grow. As a matter of fact, this year's the best, because I have my first graduates.
Is that right? High school graduates?
Graduates. So yes, but with baseball and soccer that we started 2 months ago, that was a 1-day clinic. So my new sports that we're incepting for the rebranding of this organization, they'll be 1 day. So it'll be a pilot. We want to make sure we do it right.
Do it right.
We want to learn from our mistakes. We want to learn from our achievements. So next year, baseball and soccer is going to be 3 days. We're going to do offensive day, a defensive day, and then what's the other one? It's a community service. That's the delineation line that differentiates us from other clinics that have to do with sports and what we do. Because what we're really doing is we're mentoring our youth, just using sport to do that.
You bet. Outstanding, man. And obviously, to make things happen, to do the just all the planning, obviously, all the execution of things, also the clinics themselves, you need support, you need help, right? So volunteering, I'm assuming the coaches that help you are volunteers also, and the personnel that come out and help with whatever tasks you may have for them. So is this a totally volunteer force, isn't it?
It is a total volunteer force, but 80% of our volunteer force are military members and veterans. Because if you really think about it, it's a full circle program. It's not just about the kids.
Right.
So on the military aspect of it, what we're doing is we're providing a platform for our military members and our veterans who haven't found purpose. Purpose is a huge thing in what we do.
Yeah.
So if you think about when you were in the military, David, and I was in the military, you have a lot of these special operators or just military members who get out that have done Iraq deployments, who are suffering from PTSD or other mental health stuff, or just suffering from, I'm no longer part of a community.
Yeah, the community, the military family. Right.
Military family is no longer there. So a lot of them get stuck in this dark place. And, we don't want to talk too much about that dark place. But what Future Star Sports Clinic does is, if they sign up as a volunteer, you read what our program was. You could just, by the name, it has to do with sports. So what I look at it as, if you played any sport, or if you're part of anything organized, let's say you're part of a band, and there's a person in your life right now, if you're listening to this, that has impacted your life.
Yes,
you know that person's name. I mean, David, we're interviewing here, and you have Connection Young Magazine. You started it for a reason. Somebody impacted you enough and said, you know what, I need to do that. So when I talk to all these volunteers that sign up, I let them know, if that person that impacted you, you don't have to say their name, but what Future Star Sports Clinic does is it provides you a platform to be that person for these youth.
That's right.
So think about that now. Now I align my purpose with their purpose, because at first they didn't know why they signed up. Now they do.
Yes, sir.
That has been, I think, one of the sole reasons of the success of this operation and this organization, because when you align people's whys and purposes, there's nothing that could get in the way to make it successful.
Yes, and obviously, I mean, you take volunteers from any background, but one of the greatest things you mentioned there is the fact that you're giving many of the military personnel that are here, whether they're here temporarily because they may, they may have to move to another base or whatever the case may be, or when they retire, they move somewhere else. But you are actually giving them an opportunity also to consider staying here and getting involved with the community downtown. The civilian community is a very important thing for the military personnel to be part of, and more entities, more businesses should be doing things that invite the military to participate and give them a chance to consider staying here, because that's some great talent that will stay if we are able to maintain or keep more of the military personnel that are either getting out of the service or retiring from the service, staying here in the community. They are going to be a great addition to the community if we can find ways to convince them to stay here. You know what I'm talking about? So you're giving them an opportunity to participate in a downtown activity, supporting the local kids per se, obviously military dependents also. But being a part of the civilian family is also important for the military personnel.
And David, and being that they're military members, they've already had a lot of this leadership instilled in them, so it makes it easier. But that other 20% of the volunteer force, you're talking local coaches, you're talking high school student athletes to teach them how to give back at an early age and become that mentor. So it's really a huge smorgasbord of volunteers where there's teaching going on every single different level, from the participation piece to the volunteer piece to the student athlete. Everybody is taking something from this organization.
You bet. And the other great thing I'm sure that you're experiencing now, as you mentioned that some of your kids, let's call them, that you have involved in these clinics are now graduating from high school. They're adults now. And you've probably already seen this, and you will see it eventually more and more. They come back to help you. They come back as volunteers, don't they?
Yes, sir.
And that's a great thing because you've instilled that commitment to the organization. You've instilled that commitment to, hey, somebody helped me, and now I'm going to help this kid, which is one of your goals, obviously, right?
All you have to do is believe.
Exactly. Now, in addition to personnel, volunteers, and all that other stuff that makes the clinics successful, you also need help from the community, obviously, on the monetary side of the house, the sponsorship, the support, in-kind services. So tell me a little bit about your supporting groups here and or companies, anybody that you want to mention, without fear of missing anyone. Just go ahead and tell us who you want to thank about your support here, your sponsors, and all those kind of things.
There's so many, David. I mean, from the inception of this organization, me going out to probably over 200 businesses, and only 10 of them telling me yes, like, hey, I believe. Those 10 are still with me. People like CJ Science and Designs, Rise Chiropractic. Financials are a huge thing. That when you're trying to change the world, you can't change the world on just passion. Of course. If you're watching this interview right now, pasión is a great thing to have when you're doing this, pero necesito dinero to do it as well. So All Sports Association supports us a lot. Harley Davidson of the Emerald Coast, Gus is a huge supporter, and he talks about us. Reissue Sports. The list is grown from 10 to I think 50 or 46 local and national. And again, awesome. It's not finance is always good, but what I tell people to do is, check out what we do, and then you'll see where you can fit in. Because right now, David, I had a goal when I went to Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I completed that goal. I wanted to come home with some money for the organization. Well, I have another goal now. And that goal was, in a year and a half, I have to acquire the fields that we operate Future Star Sports Clinic on. And that's a huge number. We're talking $900,000 to $1 million to at least acquire the field. So you got to continue to make goals. You got to shoot for the stars.
You bet. When you say acquire the fields, are you talking about
Behind
Purchasing
Home
the
Depot,
fields to do
purchasing the
the
field.
clinic
Yes,
there?
sir.
Okay, got it.
Purchasing the fields for Future Star Sports Clinic. And
Mhm.
that's phase A of that campaign. And then phase B is potentially building on those fields to have an outdoor and indoor complex for basically year-long training for Future Star
Wow,
Sports.
that would be wonderful, man. Yes, most definitely have goals and dreams and goals, and then just set the path to make it happen, man. So glad to hear that there's a lot more support coming to you. I know you've been very busy pitching and talking about your organization, to the different business agencies here at the Chamber of Commerce and other places I know individually, but so you're doing a lot of good lead work on that. Your family is also involved, obviously, and reaping the benefits of letting people know about the great work that you do with your organization. That's what's happening, and it's only gonna grow, I'm sure. Are there any events that you got coming up? Any fundraisers in the near future?
So yes, believe it or not. So right now I'm working on a golf tournament that should probably kick off. I don't have a date yet. I'm trying to right after the new year. It's going to be a celebrity golf tournament. So I met some really cool people when I was in Vegas. I've locked them in. Do you remember the movie Full Metal Jacket?
Yes, definitely.
So remember Joker? And then when they went out to Vietnam, he had the cameraman with him. His
Okay.
name is Rafterman, Kevin Howard. I actually met Kevin Howard in Las Vegas. We made a very, very good connection. He's probably going to come down and potentially be a celebrity on the golf tournament. I met a couple other football players out there. As you know, my organization is always bringing professional athletes around the kids. But Future Stars is always fundraising 365 days a year.
You bet.
You can go to our website, thefuture.org, click on the donate button, and no donation is too big or too small, whether it's in kind, whether it's financial, but we need everything we can to continue to grow this organization. And the key point is to continue to keep it free. I don't want nobody to ever pay $1 for this service,
right?
Because you shouldn't have to pay for the community to get together. You shouldn't have to pay to lock hands with somebody else and share some knowledge and share resources. It should be something out of the good of your heart. It should be that's why we're human beings. So we want to that's why Future Stars is Future Stars. We're building leaders, because if you're a leader, it's okay to get somebody higher than you did. It was just your purpose to be in their life at the time to get where they need to be. Because when that person gets where they need to be, guess what? They're going to be on an interview like this saying, you know what, there was this guy in my life that taught me this, and this is where I'm at now. That means they had a good leader in their life.
Chris, final words, my man.
Final words. Final words. Make sure you follow us on all our social media when you're on our site, thefuture.org. But think about what really drives you as a person and be the change that you wish to see in the world. If not, we're never going to do anything. We're just going to stay stagnant, and everybody's going to be upset and complain about things. But here's an organization that's in front of you right now that can help change the world using sport. So if you believe we can, then we will. David, I can't thank you enough. And I mean, from one Latino to another, thank you. Love you. And that's it. Visit us. And if you're watching this, please take a look at our website. Talk about what we do to other people, because you never know who in your network is the puzzle piece that's going to put this together and get us to the stars that I was talking about earlier.
There you go. And your website is, and your contact information?
www.thefuture.org. You can email me at Coach Torres, Torres, not Z, because in the Latino community, there's some Z's. Coach Torres at thefuture.org. And I will drop a couple links to David as well for our link tree. Please follow us on all our social media and watch some videos. There's some really good stuff there that's going to really kind of drive you and push you towards this organization so we can continue to impact positive change in our community and impact positive change in our youth.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being with us, Chris. We appreciate it. And we invite everyone to, again, go into the website, thefuture.org, and learn more about Future Stars Sports Clinic, learn more about the programs that they have, the different sports that they are now doing, and get a chance to vote maybe in the website about the fifth sport that he wants to implement. And it's a wonderful organization doing some great things for the youth here in the area. If you want to support them, obviously go also to the website and find the information there on how to donate or become a sponsor and or a volunteer, because it's all about volunteering. It's all about supporting each other. And for those of you that are in the military, for sure, you are more than welcome to be part of this family that Future Sports Stars or Future Star Sports Clinic is putting together, and put your talents there to use there, your leadership abilities and all those kind of things that they teach us so well in the military. Thank you very much for being with us.
Bueno, bienvenidos nuevamente a este programa de Making Connection, pero en esta ocasión tenemos nuestra sesión de ¿qué pasa en la región? ¿Qué es lo que está
Nada,
pasando aquí?
aquí no hay
¿Qué es lo
nada
que
que hacer.
ya, ¿qué es lo que está pasando aquí? Mira, David, tú sabes que la gente por ahí decía, ¿verdad? Que aquí en estos lugares y que no se hace nada. Mira.
Mucha de nuestra gente latina, especialmente, que no había nada latino.
Que no había nada que hacer, que estaban aburridos y de momento, ¿qué es lo que está pasando aquí? ¿Qué es lo que está pasando allá? ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? Y eso es lo que me ha motivado a ser la influencer que soy hoy en día, corriendo al Golfo, para que tú sepas qué es lo que está pasando en nuestra región. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? Cuéntame, David.
Y les vamos a mostrar unos de los volantes de los diferentes eventos que vienen aquí próximamente a la región, incluyendo eventos de Mardi Gras en Pensacola. Cuéntanos un poquito acerca de lo de Mobile, porque Mobile es una de las grandes ciudades para Mardi Gras, ¿correcto?
Mira,
¿Qué fechas tienen allá?
la realidad es que la historia dice y cuenta, ¿verdad? Que el Mardi Gras se originó aquí en Mobile,
That's right.
Alabama, en el 1703.
Wow.
For a lot of years. Se fundó aquí en Mobile, Alabama, el Mardi Gras. Obviamente, se ha celebrado y se celebra en otras regiones que es muy conocido, pero aquí se va a celebrar desde el 26 de enero hasta febrero 13. Van a haber actividades en ese calendario por todo Mobile, Alabama, por todo el downtown, diferentes bailes y diferentes actividades, destacando, ¿verdad? Este carnaval, porque eso es como un carnaval, ¿no?
Así es, oye, ¿no? Que bueno, Mobile, Alabama has the history of having founded Mardi Gras, and yes, there's Mardi Gras all over the place. Everybody knows about the Mardi Gras in New Orleans, but Mobile is where it started, according to history, and that's what they say. And so, yes, they have a great event. So, yeah, we're going to be showing the flyers for different activities, but we want to talk about the ones we are doing, right? Because, for example, coming up in February in Tallahassee, the Cirque Italia is coming to the region. And every time the Cirque Italia comes to the region, they reach out to us because they want us to help them out with promoting the circus throughout the region, because they know we want to make sure the Hispanic community, the multicultural community, shows up to their wonderful circus. I'm going to show you their beautiful flyer for the event, and then we'll show the other ones later. So this is the Cirque Italia, if you can see, en español. No te lo pierdas. Water Circus coming to Tallahassee in February 15th through the 18th, Governor Square, and then moving on to Panama City from February 22 to 25. Entonces, latino, amigo, hermano latino, no te lo pierdas, no te lo pierdas, apoya estos grandes eventos. Este circo es uno de los mejores de la región y ellos quieren atraer a los latinos. ¿Saben por qué? Porque muchos de los artistas son latinos en este circo, y en muchos circos del mundo hay muchísimos latinos que trabajan en estos circos. So, apoyémoslos, vayan a Tallahassee, vayan a Panama City, y también son tan buenas personas los dueños del circo que nos dan boletos gratis. Vamos a dar 4 boletos o paquetes de boletos valuados en $130 cada uno para 4 familias en cada de las ciudades, cortesía de la empresa Cirque
Muy
Italia.
bien.
So, por favor, apóyennos yendo al circo en Tallahassee y Panama City. Yo sé que tú has ido al Cirque
Ah,
Italia.
sí,
Te tocó
sí.
hace unos años. ¿Te gustó?
Me encantó, fui con mi mami y la pasamos súper bien y es increíble la disciplina, ¿verdad? Y la constancia de estas personas, constantes, ser disciplinado, practicar y practicar para que tú y yo vayamos allí y disfrutas, te deleitas y hasta te asombras de las
Eso.
cosas que realizan estas personas. Así que mira, apoya lo local y apoya lo de aquí. Vaya con
Así
su
es.
familia y disfrute y después no diga que en estas regiones no se hace nada.
Así es. Another event, otro evento que tenemos en el próximo futuro es el 15 de febrero. El 15 de febrero nuestra empresa Conexión Media Group está patrocinando el gran evento social de enlace, el Business Networking Social de la Cámara de Comercio de Fort Walton Beach, the Fort Walton Beach Chamber of Commerce's Business After Hours. We are going to be the sponsors of that event. We're doing this again. Last year we did it. It was great. This year we're doing it at El Paso Mexican restaurant in Mary Esther. And as always, with the socials that we do, we're going to give it the Latino flavor. Latino flavor because it's in a Latino restaurant. We want to promote our Latino friends and our clients. And so El Paso Restaurant is the place to do it. It's going to be 15 February from 5:30 to 7:30. This is for 401B Chamber members and guests of some of us that are members. We're going to have Latino music to close it out, and obviously the food that they serve there. So, como sabes tú, Kismet, tenemos unos grandes eventos de enlace social que hacemos en toda la región, y en esta ocasión estamos uniéndonos como miembros de la Cámara de Comercio que somos de Fort Walton Beach, y vamos a ser los patrocinadores y amenizadores del evento social que hacen cada mes. Se llama Business After Hours, negociando después de las horas laborales,
Muy
técnicamente hablando.
bien.
Y va a ser el 15 y espero que vengas desde Mobile como viniste el que tuvimos en diciembre allá en Pedros de Destin. ¿Qué te pareció el programa?
Oh, ¿cómo terminamos el año allí compartiendo, entreteniendo a este público? Me encanta ser parte de estos networking, entretener, hacer reír a las personas, conocer a otras personas, conocer sus historias,
Exacto.
conectar, porque de eso se trata, que todos conectamos. Y quién sabe si yo estoy aquí en Móvil y tú vives en Tallahassee, pero yo te puedo ayudar con tu negocio o tú me puedes ayudar a mí con estrategia o dándonos la mano, porque que no se nos olvide que unidos somos más fuertes. Y qué chévere que tú vayas a un networking y tengas aquí entretenimiento, rica comida y después termine bailando.
Bailando hasta las 5, como dicen. Oye, no, sí, sí, es lo bueno del evento. Obviamente, este evento, como es un evento de la Cámara de Comercio que nosotros estamos patrocinando, es diferente a los eventos que nosotros organizamos, en el cual nosotros organizamos, hacemos lo que queremos. En este evento tenemos reglas de la Cámara de Comercio que tenemos que seguir, obviamente, y con gusto lo hacemos como miembros que somos, pero definitivamente el sabor latino no falta en nuestros eventos y ahí es por eso que lo hacemos en un sitio latino. Le ponemos musiquita latina que normalmente ellos no hacen, pero nosotros sí, porque
Somos la
ahí
diferencia.
está, y ese es el toque de diferencia que le estamos poniendo. Entonces, sí, es para miembros nada más preregistrados, ¿ok? Pero ustedes que no son miembros, que son amigos de nosotros, esperen la llamadita, porque queremos gente hispana ahí, ¿eh?
Claro.
No nada más el nombre, no nada más el sitio, sino que ver esas caras latinas que entren ahí y empiecen a hacer conexiones también con los miembros de la Cámara de Comercio de Fort Walton Beach. So we're going to show these flyers here about all those events coming up soon. Pero also want to mention, vamos a mencionar obviamente nuestro gran esfuerzo que hacemos cada año, y esa es la Semana Internacional que este año va a ser del 13 de abril al 21 de abril. La Semana Internacional la creamos nosotros como Conexión Media Group también para traer eventos multiculturales a la región. Este año van a incluir eventos como el International Food Truck Festival, que nuestra amiga Mercedes Ferris está organizando. The International Food Truck Festival will be part of the Emerald Coast International Week. We're going to close it out on 21 April with our 6th International Festival for Walton Beach. That is a product of Conexión Media Group itself. The Food Truck Festival is Mercedes's. And then in between, there's going to be a series of events. Right now, we're working with a DJ. He is an international DJ, un DJ internacional que vive aquí en la área. Y le hicimos una propuesta de que si él quiere tener un eventazo a nivel internacional como él lo hace, porque él viaja por todo el mundo, que lo haga durante la fiesta internacional aquí, ya sea Fort Walton Beach o Destin. Y le encantó la idea y esperamos que se lleve a cabo. No puedo decir quién es, no puedo decir cuándo va a ser, porque aún estamos en la plática de eso. Y ese evento, el concepto de nuestra Semana Internacional es que las personas que quieran hacer algo con toque internacional o multicultural, lo hagan con el apoyo de Conexión Media Group y en conjunto, pero ese evento es de ellos. Entonces ellos lo organizan, ellos lo planean, ellos lo ejecutan, pero colaboramos con media support, con marketing y todas las cosas que nuestra empresa puede hacer y también con las conexiones, obviamente, para que haya apoyo monetario o apoyo de otros medios informativos. Entonces, eso es lo que vamos a hacer del 13 al 21 de abril. Así que vas a andar por acá, ¿no?
No, yo estoy apuntando en mi agenda y yo espero que tú que estás allá afuera escuchando muy entretenido esta sesión de qué pasa en tu región, tú tengas tu calendario y también estés anotando como yo que estamos en enero y ya estamos hablando de las actividades que tenemos en abril. Así que apunta para que bajes con tu familia y puedas disfrutar y te des la vueltita de rica comida, ver las diferentes tradiciones, las diferentes exposiciones de arte, de cultura. Mire, aquí hay mucho que hacer y si usted tiene alguna idea, eche para acá y también déjenos saber.
Y otra vez recalcamos, porque tú mencionaste obviamente el evento de marzo. Dinos un poquito más acerca de eso otra vez, porque tal vez se lo perdieron porque no estamos hablando de eventos. ¿Qué vas a hacer el 1 de marzo? Es algo completamente cultural.
El 1 de marzo voy a estar colaborando con Park and Recreation, City of Mobile Park and Recreation, que son los parques de aquí de Mobile, Alabama, los parques recreacionales, los cuales soy la primera institución hispana asociada como una institución sin fines de lucro, Hispanic Community Services. Te invito a que me sigas en la página de Facebook porque tu apoyo y tu dedito arriba para Making Connection, Facebook y todas nuestras redes sociales nos ayudan a llegar a más gente allá afuera y sepa lo que estamos haciendo aquí. Entonces, yo me voy a integrar como Kismet Meléndez Hispanic Community Services y estoy buscando talentos porque se llama la noche Glow Night, ¿ok? Es una noche multicultural, el cual van a estar dándote la oportunidad de 5 a 10 minutos que tú te destaques en tu baile folclórico, si tocas algún instrumento, si tú cantas, cualquier cosa que tú realices que sea, mira, de entretenimiento, de arte sanamente, puede ser parte de este entertainment, ¿verdad? De este calendario que vamos a tener de 6 a 8 de la noche. Así que tú puedes ir allí y destacar cuál es tu país, cuál es tu tradición, cuál es tu cultura. Actualmente ya tengo a Puerto Rico con Giancarlo González, que se está destacando aquí con la bomba y la plena, ¿verdad? Tenemos a Chile, que va a representar un baile folclórico, y tenemos a Brasil con el capoeira. Entonces estoy buscando México, Honduras, Guatemala, Salvador, Perú, Panamá. Mire, es que somos tantos y tantos y tantos, y esto es tan multicultural, que una de esas cosas fue las que me motivó a salir a la calle y demostrarle a la gente que somos muchos y que tenemos talentos únicos dentro de ti. Así que búscalo, que tu talento anda por ahí. Déjame ver por dónde es que está.
Excelente. Oye, ¿dónde te pueden conseguir en cuanto a tu influencer page o tu página de tu fundación?
Mira, la realidad es que me puedes conseguir en todas las plataformas como Facebook, Instagram, TikTok y YouTube channel. Me puedes encontrar como Kismet Meléndez, ¿ok? Y también me puedes encontrar bajo mi fundación sin fin de lucro, Hispanic Community Services, Servicios Comunitarios Hispanos. ¿Y qué es lo que hacemos aquí? Integrar a nuestra comunidad, damos clases de español completamente gratis, clases de inglés, ferias de salud, ferias comunitarias. eh, la última actividad que tuvimos, ¿verdad? Fue darle juguetes a los niños de nuestra comunidad, gracias a David Triana, que hace 3 años me sembró esa semillita y este año no fue en diciembre, no, fue el 6 de enero, destacando nuestra tradición de los 3 Reyes Magos. Y no sabes tú que la gente no se había ido y ya estaba pidiendo. ¿Cuándo va a ser el del año que viene?
Qué bueno que pudiste hacerlo el Día de Reyes, porque es algo único también que es bien latino y bien boricua, pero bien latino, porque la
Definitivamente.
mayoría de nuestros países latinos reconocen que esa fecha es bien importante y qué bueno que pudiste hacerlo en esa fecha, porque yo creo que tiene como un poquito más simbólica el poder de hacerlo para nuestra
No,
gente latina, obviamente.
definitivamente que, número uno, le doy gracias a Dios por darnos la sabiduría, la tolerancia, la paciencia, la paz, el amor, entre todas las cosas, ¿verdad?
Excelentes cosas sucediendo en toda la región, muchos eventos, muchas actividades. No falta que hacer, no falta que hacer. Solo hay que buscar y las cosas que quieres, las cosas que te interesan. Y si eres parrandero, pues parrandea. Y si eres cultural, culturea. Y si eres social, socializa. Eso es lo que debes hacer para no estar ahí triste y agobiado, que no tienes nada que hacer. Bueno, pues como siempre dice el dicho, todas las cosas buenas tienen su final. Everything good must come to an end also, and this is the end of the show. We are very glad for you having joined us at Making Connections interview show, our first show of 2024. And we want to make sure you follow us through YouTube, our YouTube channel for Conexión. That's where the show will be posted. And then we will spread it out through all the social media sites that Conexión Media Group has in Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and all the other things that are out there. X, which used to be Twitter, obviously, and still no TikTok. Okay. ¿Qué nos tienes que decir, Kismet? Vamos a cerrar aquí el show. Primero agradeciéndole o dándoles felicidades a nuestras amigas, ¿no? A nuestras amigas de la Fundación Dreams of Angels, Diana Lawson, a María Lino Montes, a Rina Blanco, Alejandra Duda y la de gran decoración de nuestra amiga Kelly Santiago, ¿verdad? ¿Qué opinaste acerca de la fiesta navideña que tuvieron ellos el 22 de diciembre?
Bueno, número uno, gracias a esta fundación tan hermosa que está celebrando y sembrando, ¿ok? La diferencia en esta región. De verdad que gracias por la invitación. Yo me gocé esa actividad con esos niños y los padres. Es que yo me lo gocé como maestra de ceremonia. Mire esas fotos hermosas ahí, la
Qué
gente
bonitas.
disfrutando, comiendo rico, los niños bien contentos con sus juguetes, gracias a San Casa Radio, que también nos puso a gozar allí con la
Yeah.
música, gracias a Peluchín, nos puso a bailar. Mire eso estaba lleno,
Estuvo
lleno. Yo
lleno,
me
¿verdad? Y
lo
qué bonito el
gocé.
salón también, ¿verdad? De la Asociación Filipino-Americana, el Filipino American Cultural Center, como ven, bien bonito. Síguele contando a la gente cómo
Me,
estuvo ese
me
gran evento.
encantó, mire, los niños bailaron, mire, puse a los niños hasta bailar salsa, lo puse a bailar salsa, merengue, hicimos el trencito, hasta Santa Claus estaba allí que que se iba para el Polo Norte.
Mira, ahí están las meras que acabamos de mencionar. Kelly no está ahí, pero ahí está su decoración, obviamente, ¿no? Ahí tenemos a María, perdón, a Diana Lawson a la izquierda, después ahí María con su vestimenta navideña, al Santa Claus, que es una gran labor, y luego ahí tenemos a Reina Blanco, y ahí en la derecha a Alejandra, las líderes de la Fundación Dreams of Angels. Agradecemos a todos el habernos acompañado en este programa, el primero del año, Making Connections Interview Show. Vamos a producir de por lo menos un show cada mes y a veces dos porque salen cosas interesantes y ponemos a hacer uno más corto y especial. Muchísimas gracias por atendernos, que Dios les bendiga, cuídense mucho y que tengan un año 2024 muy feliz primeramente y también muy exitoso, ya sea en su vida personal o en su vida empresarial o sin fin de lucro, todas esas cosas que hacemos por allá, ¿verdad, Kismet?
Claro que sí, que mire que este 2024 lo llene y lo inunde y lo abunde de amor, de paz, de prosperidad, de bendiciones, de salud para poder seguir adelante construyendo y sembrando. Y recuerda, síguenos aquí en Making Connection, danos like, comparte estos videos, comparte esta entrevista, porque mira, follow ahí para que tú estés al día y nos estés siguiendo de los próximos programas que vamos a tener. Y como Kisman Meléndez en TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Channel, aquí estamos para servirte. Cuídense mucho, Dios me los bendiga. Y como digo yo, estrellita, pero mira, estrellita, pate.
Nos vemos a la próxima, que Dios les bendiga.
Bye.